Hi everyone, my name is Rachel and welcome to the French Scenes. Thanks very much for joining me for today's Friday Sews video. So we're back to Friday Sews as opposed to Festive Friday Sews, which is what I published in December, which I really enjoyed doing. So thank you so much to everybody who watched all those videos. But we're back to Friday Sews videos because it's now 2025 and it's my first vlog of 2025. So a huge big Happy New Year to you all. So if you're a regular viewer or subscriber to my channel, then thank you for coming back. It's great to see you all. And if you're new to my channel, then you're very welcome. So I had wonderful intentions coming back to you before New Year with a little vlog, but that just didn't happen. More on that later when I give you a little catch up of my Christmas. But I'm delighted to be back to you now today for my first vlog of 2025. So spoiler alert, it's very light on sewing, extremely light on sewing. I think I have one thing to show to you, but it's going to be big on chats, big on plans. I have my plans that I want to share with you, a few little cheeky purchases that haven't really arrived, so I'll be showing pictures of what they are, and also a few stats from my 2024 sewing, which I find interesting. I hope you do too. And then, as I say, a little bit of plans and a little bit of general catch up. So settle in, hope this won't be too long for you, but I am just delighted to be back. It is extremely cold in Dublin today. It's frosty. We're entering into now a very cold snap, but it's really pretty. The boys are back in creche. They had the most wonderful Christmas. Myself and Mr. French Seams are still off work. Poor Mr. French Seams wanted to go golfing today, but that's just not going to happen, so we might head out for a cheeky cup of coffee instead. So I'm fully wrapped up today. I've got my thermal vest on, obviously, and then I've got my beautiful Chasing Butterflies top. This is from Passion Emporium. I've now made 3 of these. I absolutely love them. This is in this gorgeous kind of glitter knit that I got from Covered in Fluff, obviously, that I got from the Knitting and Stitching in Belfast and it's from a fabric shop called Craftswoman. I think they're based up in Carrickfergus up in the north of Ireland, but I just adore this top. So obviously my Ash jeans, which I've been wearing constantly, so it's a really pretty top, and as I say, I've now made about 3 of these, all different versions. I absolutely love them, so it's keeping me nice and toasty today. So that's what I've got on. So will I catch you up on our Christmas? So we had a really lovely time. The boys just had an absolute ball. It was just lovely to be at home. Everybody was well, thank goodness. Everybody was well, everybody was in great form. We caught up with a few family members. My mum and dad came to stay with us for Christmas Day, Stephen's Day, and then they left on the 27th, so it was lovely to have them for Christmas. We did an awful lot of cooking, an awful lot of baking. I have my list here because I put up on Instagram and a few people were interested in the baking that I got done. So I did mince pies, I did beautiful peppermint chocolate chip cookies, but I forgot the chocolate chips. We did millionaire shortbread, and so I was able to put all of those as little gifts into the little pie holder that I made for a gift in November, so I'll pop in a picture here. Very gratefully received. I was absolutely delighted. So yes, so I was able to gift that pie holder. I was able to gift the Bestie bag that I made, which was very gratefully received, so I was delighted. It's always a little bit nerve-wracking giving away kind of homemade presents, but yeah, they loved them, which is great, and everybody loved the little ouch pouches, so I'll pop in a picture here. So all my gift November gifting was done. Everybody was delighted. I was really happy, and as I think I mentioned before, I'm quite selective about who I sew for, so I was delighted to be able to gift them to my nearest and dearest. That was really great. So then we had Christmas Eve with family, which was lovely. Then we had Christmas Day with family, which was really great. So lots of festivities, lots of food, lots of wine. We generally had a really marvellous time. And then after Christmas, the 4 of us just basically lounged about the place. The boys slept until about 9 o'clock every single morning, apart from Christmas Day when they're up at 6:30, which I think is still pretty good going, but they were just super excited. So every morning we didn't get going until 9 o'clock. Then we were just lounging around watching TV. They were playing with their toys. We were kind of planning the day. We didn't kind of get mobilized until about lunchtime. We'd head out for kind of a token walk or token something, and then back home. So it was just lovely. It was just really chilled, really relaxed, gorgeous food. Watched a lot of telly. It was just lovely. It really was. So trying to get the boys up and mobilised and out to creche now has been a bit of a challenge this week. They're still a bit tired, they're a bit unused to the early mornings, but they're delighted to be back with their buddies, and normality is kind of coming back into our lives, which is fine, apart from the really cold weather. I think we're due to get snow, but anyway, we'll see about that. So on Christmas Day, I wore my, I call it my glitter ostrich skirt. So it's the most beautiful fabric from Rainbow Fabrics. I'll pop in a picture here. I made it into a Grenadine skirt. So I really enjoyed wearing it on Christmas Day, and I paired it with a Tilling the Buttons Agnes top that I made a good few years ago in the cowl version, which I just loved. I was very lucky to be given by my lovely husband. He bought me the most beautiful Aran jumper, which I'd kind of been angling over because there's not a chance I'll be able to knit myself an Aran jumper. No way. So I loved wearing that as well when it got a bit colder. Did I get any other prezzies for Christmas? So yes, I did. The Sainted Mr. French Seams, with a little bit of encouragement from myself, got me this. So delighted. So I've been looking for one of these for a long time. So this, if you can't guess what it is already, is a mini iron, and it is the cutest thing in the entire world. So it arrived anyway, and when I took it out, I was so happy. And my husband was like, it's really tiny. I was like, I know, isn't it so cute? So first of all, the cutest thing is the little water jug, which is utterly adorable. And then this is the little iron itself. And I mean, how cute is that? So it's by the Quilted Bear, and I've been using it a few times since, and it is just fabulous. Absolute game changer. So I also got a cutting mat. So I have it here on my table because if you can't tell, like, my sewing room is not big. So that's one wall. This is one wall basically right here, so it's quite small. So having to put up my kind of mini ironing board, and then the full size iron is just a bit of a faff, and I usually have to do it on the floor. I usually end up burning myself. So to have it on this little table here is just fabulous, and just pressing little tiny seams is just brilliant. And it's really, really powerful for such a tiny iron. It's just brilliant. So I was so happy with that. Absolutely delighted. So thank you very much, Mr. French Seams. So that was my little gift. So as I said, we just did a load of walking, a load of chatting, a load of hanging out. My brother gave our boys the best game ever. So if you're into kind of board games and things like that, so I'll pop in a picture of it here. It's called Cobra Paw. So my boys are 3 and 6, and the two of them adore this game. We had to play it 50 times a day. It's so much fun. So basically you get all these little tiles and 2 dice, and then whatever you roll on the dice, you have to match that tile to those pictures. So it's very, very simple for small children, but it's really, really good fun. So we ended up playing with my parents. We ended up playing with the 2 boys. They now play it with each other. So if you do have children, or even adults, to be fair, it's a fabulous adult game as well. I would highly recommend this game. And yes, thank you so much to my lovely brother. So that was really, really good fun. We also went to a local park. They had this thing, I think it's called Wonder Lights, where basically they got all these animals lit up. It looks really, really cool. So I'll pop in a picture of it here. That was really, really pretty, and lovely kind of wintry thing to do as well. And they also had a giant Ferris wheel, which my older boy went on. I didn't think he would, but he did in the end, and he absolutely adored it. So that was really, really good fun. So have I been doing any sewing? So the tiniest bit of sewing. I have done one thing, but it's a pattern test, so I can't show you what it is, but spoiler alert, I love it, and I know you guys will too. So I'm really excited to show you that when it gets released. The only other thing I got sewn up was my lovely, lovely friend Sam, So Let's Sparkle. If you don't follow her, which I'm sure you do, I'll link all her channels below. Fabulous. She put out in her Vlogmas a little tutorial for a drawstring bag, and she put this out obviously before Christmas, but I didn't get a chance to do it until over the Christmas holidays, when I was kind of angling for a bit of sewing and a bit of use of my little iron. So I made her little drawstring bag, and she calls it her selection box bag, I think, and I can confirm it does fit an awful lot of chocolate. It's fabulous. So it's a beautiful drawstring bag with this little channel at the top. I just used ribbon, and then it's got it's fully lined. I lined it with this little Winnie the Pooh fabric. So this fabric I was very lucky to get from the lovely Sam. She brought it to the retreat, but I just thought this was so cute. It's covered in little snow globes, and it's just the most beautiful bag pattern, because I make a lot of bags, more on that later. And I usually just make little zipper totes or other little drawstrings bag, but I really, really love the construction of this drawstring bag. I think it's really great. So I'll link her vlog below where she shows how to do this. Really great. But as a little addition to this, because I saw this on the Juki Club Instagram account, they made a little vinyl snow globe. So I was really taken by this because, you know, my recent foray into using vinyl, and I thought on a snow globe bag, how cool would that be? So I made sure to kind of fussy cut the front of it to have the snow globe in the middle. And basically what you do is you cut out your pattern piece, and then you put a little piece of vinyl over it, and you sew around the edge, and then you fill it with little sequins, and then put, I think they used cork, I just had a little bit of foam, so I just mimicked the bottom of the snow globe. And here's my little snow globe. So I put little sequins in it. So I had sequin, do they move? They do. I had a little sequin ribbon, and I just basically chopped off those sequins. So it's not perfect, but I think it's really, really cute and really, really effective. So I just love the way this looks, and I think it's really great. I'm going to be using this bag for so many things in future, as gift bags, all that kind of good stuff. So I was out and about the other day, and I went to Soster and Green, and I picked up, sorry about the shine, this little bag. Ignore the glitter glue, I'll use that for something else, but this little bag full of sequins. So I'm going to make loads more of these little snow globes because I think they are absolutely adorable. So you could put them on maybe little coasters, you could put them on bags, you could even put them on garments. I think would look really cute. So I'll link the Juki Club Instagram tutorial for this as well. So that was basically the only sewing thing I got done over Christmas, and I was so happy to do it one night. I just said to my husband, "Was like, I have to do a bit of sewing," and I just disappeared and came down with a fabulous drawstring bag, which is very, very cute. So that's now going back up in the attic with all the other Christmas stuff, which is basically piled up outside that needs to be sorted through and put away for the year. So that was my little bit of sewing. So what else was I doing? So I got to catch up on all the Vlogmas videos, which I absolutely adored. So again, a massive thank you to all the lovely vloggers who put out their Vlogmas videos. I know how much hard work goes into it, but it was just so enjoyable. I loved watching it. I was able to watch a good few of them, which was really, really great. I'm late on commenting on them, but I'll get there. But it was just marvellous to see them all, and things ranged from my lovely friend Cara Marie in Norway with her snowy videos, and then it went the whole way around the world to the lovely Sarah from Sarah Sewed, who's based in Australia, where she was on the beach, and then of course you had everything in between. It was just amazing, and it was just so nice to get a little glimpse into people's lives, what they were getting up to sewing wise, just life-wise. And then I'm very grateful to everybody who put up the tutorials as part of the Vlogmas as well, which I think is a really, really lovely addition. So it gives you a little crafty fix during December as well. But thank you all for keeping me company. I really, really enjoyed it. So that's basically what I've been doing. So what else have I purchased? So I have finally managed to source some bag foam. Surprisingly difficult. So I found some bag foam. That's on the way because all the purchases I've been doing over Christmas, obviously they haven't been shipped and delivered yet, all that good stuff. So that's hopefully on the way because I really want to get that Atlas zipper pouch made up. So I'll put a picture here. It's been on my list for weeks and weeks and weeks. Really excited about making it, but I just didn't have the bag foam, so waiting for that. A lot of this is now theoretical because I have nothing to show you. Then Driessenstoffen had a sale on their website, so I'll link them below. So I use them quite a bit. Again, more on that later. And I bought a couple of things from them. So I bought some lovely mint coloured jersey and matching ribbing. So hopefully I'll pop in a few stock pictures of them here because I want to make a new Ressac sweatshirt. So that's the Maison Fauve pattern that came out middle of November I think, and I have made one version. I'll pop it in here. I made it up in a beautiful sweatshirting and ribbing fabric from the Crafty Studio. I've been wearing that jumper loads. I absolutely love it, so I'm really keen to make another one. So I bought that mint fabric to make that. I bought some grey jersey because I think I mentioned before in my last Friday Sales video that I bought a pattern for my husband. So it's an Ellie and Mac pattern. I think it's called the Arctic pullover. I think I'll pop in a picture here because I really want to mimic a ready-to-wear one that he bought. I haven't told him, so I'm hoping it works out well, but I bought him that in grey because I think the version he bought himself, I think is a kind of a grey blue navy colour, so I was hoping to make something different. So fingers crossed this works. It's always tricky making for other people. And then the other things I bought was I bought a green sweatshirting, and I'm really keen to make the Southbank sweater dress. So it's quite similar to the Billy, the Tilly and Buttons Billy, which I have made as a dress a good few times, and I really, really like it. But I've seen a number of Southbank sweater dresses now out and about. It's an oldie pattern, but I think it's an oldie but a goodie. So if you've seen Angela Devon Threadtails and Sam from Sola Sparkle, I know both of them have made beautiful versions. They're the ones I've just seen recently, and I'm just really, really keen to get this made up. I think it'd be lovely for winter. The kind of slightly roll neck and just a very kind of streamlined dress. I think I'll leave out the pockets. I've heard that the pockets aren't that great, so I'll leave out the pockets. But I bought a lovely green sweatshirt in kind of that colour actually to make up that dress. So hopefully when that arrives. So if I'm successful with that Southbank sweater dress and I end up liking it, I did also buy some of their Christmas French terry, which I'm now going to put away, and I'm going to make a Southbank out of that fabric next December. So I'll pop in a picture of that fabric here. I'm sure you've seen it knocking around the place before. It's that lovely kind of fair owl pattern, but I think it's really pretty. And so I thought, right, I'm going to chalk that down for next Christmas. So come kind of end November, I'm going to hopefully make a Southbank out of that, and I'll be totally ready for Christmas. So there are my little fabric purchases. Another pattern that came out from Ellie and Mac was a really cool oven mitt apron pattern. So I'll pop in a picture of what it looks like here. I was quite taken by it. So for all my Christmas baking, I do wear a little apron. I wear an apron cooking anyway, but for Christmas I have a really cool Christmas flamingo frilly apron. So I was very, very kindly gifted that fabric last Christmas by a lovely friend of mine over on Instagram, and so I made an apron out of that last year. And I love it. It's so cute. So I love having a kind of festive apron. But I thought this apron was really cool. So it does still have the kind of frilly element, but the pockets turn into oven mitts, which I think is just genius, because then you never lose them and they're always at your side. So obviously, caution, caution, caution. Use the proper insulating, the heat resistant insulating, use the proper thread, all that good stuff. But I think it looks like a really interesting pattern. So I'll pop in a picture of it here. And was it free at the time? I think it was. It might still be free, but again, I'll link it all below anyway. So I thought that was very, very cute. So what else have I been up to? So I'm very into statistics and numbers and figures and all that good stuff. So I ran a quick look at my 2024 stats. So this mightn't be of interest to everybody. If it's not, I'll pop in a timestamp here and you can scoot to the end of my plans. But if you are interested, basically I keep all my my plans and my makes on a spreadsheet. It's basic, but it's literally the month I get it done, or when I want to get it done, then the pattern, the fabric, the pattern company, whether I've got it done, whether I've washed it, all that kind of good stuff. So basically it's just a spreadsheet, nothing fancy. But I was able to go into it and do a few little tweaks and make a few little charts and diagrams. I'm not quite sure why I didn't do this before. It's of interest to me anyway, and I quite like to look at the results. So I do have the results in front of me if I just boot up the iPad, so bear with. So I have my stats here. So I put this up on Instagram and a few people were quite interested. So I'll pop up the picture I did here. Basically, it was everything I got made up last year. So on one hand, it worked out that I think I made 83% of the stuff for me, and then 17% of stuff was for gifts or for other people, which kind of is in line with how I sew anyway. So I knew I sew mainly for myself, but the actual stuff I made was quite interesting. So if I just let you know of like the kind of the top 10 kind of stuff that I made. So very interestingly, about 1 in 5 makes are bags. So I had no idea that I made that many bags, but I suppose some of them are very, very small, little pouches. Some of them are quite big, you know, proper handbags and stuff, but that was quite interesting. So my top 10 were bags, jumpers, dresses, tops, homeware, which doesn't surprise me well. All my patchwork stuff, skirts, t-shirts, blouses and pajamas. They're kind of the top things that I got made up. And then the interesting thing was the fabric companies I shopped from. So I was quite interested by this as well. So again, in no particular order, but these are my top 10. Driessenstoffen, I do buy an awful lot from them. Rainbow Fabrics, obviously a brand ambassador with them. So as a reminder, if you want to use my code Rachel !VIP, that ordinarily gets you 20% off site-wide, but during their sale currently you get 60% off. So and that is an affiliate link, so I do receive a small commission off that. So thank you very, very much to everybody who uses that and continues to use it. So thank you. Then there's also Trimmings, Crafty Studio, Fabric Counter, the Fabric Outlet, Stitch Fabrics and Love Fabrics. And then interestingly, I make an awful lot of stuff out of scraps I had from other stuff, which is quite good. And then I'm very, very lucky then to have been gifted a few little bits and pieces of fabric. And then another large proportion of my makes are ready to wear stuff that I either embellish or take as a base and make it into something else, which I thought was quite interesting. And then my top, these aren't really my top 10, but they're my top pattern companies because they're what I make the most out of. The main ones I do are ones that I find online, which is like little silly things that I just find on Instagram, like all those Christmas decorations and bits and pieces. And then I do self-draft, not an awful lot of bags and all that kind of stuff. But from an actual pattern company point of view, the top ones came out as Adam Sews, which is very unsurprising given all the bags I make. Helen's Closet, Friday Pattern Company, Waves and Wild, Tilly and the Buttons, Chuck and Notch, Sew Over It, Sam Sew Let Sparkle with her tutorials, Passion Emporium, Mood Fabrics, Megan Nielsen, Maison Fauve, Made by Me Patterns, Jennifer Lauren and the Fabric Godmother. So they're my kind of top ones that I use. Obviously there are way more, but they're the ones that came out on top. So I'll pop in a few pictures here. I think it's very interesting to go back and have a look. So obviously I make an awful lot of bags, I make an awful lot of jumpers, and I make an awful lot of dresses and tops, which again isn't really surprising, but I just loved having a look at all the bits and pieces I got made up in 2024. So thank you for indulging me with those statistics. So moving on to my plans. So what would I like to get done? So obviously the Atlas zipper pouch, I mentioned the Arctic pullover, the Ressac, all that kind of stuff. I do still want to continue on with my nephew's quilt because that's just been abandoned over Christmas and I really want to revisit that. And then the last thing I would like to get made up is, and if you've been watching Angela Devon Threadtails, she mentioned that there's a few of us going to be doing a cheeky little collaboration together, which I'm super excited about. I love doing collaborations. And this is a wonderful pattern for the very, very cold weather. And it's a pattern that I didn't hear of before, but it's lovely. It's by Little Lizard King and it's the Styla Taos jumper. And it's really cool. So it's a lovely, warm, snuggly sweatshirt. It's got really cool details. It's got raglan sleeves. It's got a snap placket, or you can do buttons, and it's got a little zip pocket here at the top. It looks really, really cozy. It looks absolutely gorgeous. It's got welt zip pockets. It just looks really, really nice. So I'll pop in a few inspiration pictures here. I think I have fabric for it, but I need to measure the fabric to make sure I have it. If not, I might have to buy some fabric, but I'm hoping that the fabric I have will fit the bill. So I'm looking forward to that. So the people involved in that little collaboration are myself, Katherine Soverton Makery, Angela Devon Threadtails, Mandy from Make It So, Tania from Just Let Me Sew, and hopefully Sam from Sew Let Sparkle as well. So make sure to keep up to date with all those guys, and it should be a really, really fun collaboration. And if you have made that pattern before, please let me know how I got on with it. I'm really, really excited about it. It's a new to me pattern company for adults. I was aware that they did children's patterns, but I wasn't quite sure they did adult patterns, so I'm really looking forward to getting that started. So yeah, that is going to be my first little makes of 2025, hopefully. So as I said, I'm delighted to be back. A huge happy new year to all of you. Thank you very, very much for following on with my sewing adventures. I hope you all had a lovely break, lovely holiday time, a lovely Christmas, whatever you got up to. Please let me know in the comment box what you thought of all my stats, all my plans, and the one little make I got made up. Let me know what you're going to be working on for 2025. If you like this video, I'd very much love it if you gave a thumbs up, and please consider subscribing if you haven't already. Thank you very, very much. I love having all of you lovely people along with me on my little tiny corner of the internet. So I shall leave it there. I hope you're all well. I hope you all have a lovely week and that it's not too cold wherever you are. And I will hopefully come back to you again very, very soon with another video. Take care, everyone. Bye.